What up, Wholesale 2 Million family? I'm bringing you guys back with a subscriber first wholesale deal interview. But let me tell you, today I got the ladies, the woman to come on to represent, to show the ladies how it's done. All right. So anyways, you guys, throughout this interview, if you guys really enjoy, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And the goal is to give you guys value and drop some bombs. So I'm going to have her kind of walk you guys through her wholesale deal, her first deal, how she did it. She ended up making 10G on this. All right. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Wholesale 2 Million family. Be sure to boom, smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification. So when I upload a new video or when I go live, you get notified. Now, if you recently closed your first wholesale deal, I'd love to bring you onto the channel so you can share your stories. Our goal is to motivate and inspire other regular people that they too can do this business, whether you're a man or you're a woman. Okay. So hit me up on Instagram, go to Khang, Khang dot like a period WTM, and send me a pictures of that cash, of that checks or the wire. Show me the money. And I love to bring you on. But no further ado, help put your hands together and help me welcome Zess. What's going on, girl?
I am good. I am so excited right now. I cannot, like, my face is hurting from smiling so much. I've been looking forward to this moment ever since I started or embarked on wholesaling. And I salute you. I want to say congratulations to your 1 million followers. That is awesome. You are rocking it. And you're just inspiration to so many of us. Your story, you have a true testimony, and you truly have a testimony that we all can identify with, those that are starting on the bottom. So.
Oh, thank you so much for the kind word, for the love, support. But no further ado, I'll just let you take over the mic and share with everybody kind of your stories as and how you got into wholesaling. And then we're going to discuss about the breakdown of your first wholesale deal, okay?
Sure. So I still work a full-time job. I'm a customer care coordinator for a company called Siemens at the moment. And I actually stumbled upon wholesaling by accident. Well, nothing is an accident. So, but I stumbled upon wholesaling. I was actually into Forex, exchanging currencies. And I was following one of the traders that I follow on YouTube, and he was, talking about how, Forex is not his only means of income, and, how you have to have multiple streams of income. And he started speaking about real estate. I never really thought about getting into real estate before him saying that. But because of everything, the crisis that we're all going through with COVID and everything, I took a pay cut, with another stream of income I had. So I had to supplement it somehow. So I'm doing the Forex, that's not enough. I'm like, okay, what else can I do? And he spoke about Grant Cardone. I know everyone's pretty familiar with Grant Cardone. And I clicked on Grant Cardone's video to watch it. Grant Cardone is great. No, nothing, no digs against him or anything, but it just wasn't relatable enough for me. And it was talking about spending money or getting in with money I didn't have at the time. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And beneath his video was a video from Ask the Flip Man, Ty. I don't know if you know Ty, Ask the Flip Man. His video was there, and I just clicked on it. I said, okay, here's someone that looks like me. Maybe he can break this down a little better for me to understand. And he mentioned the term wholesaling and explained what it was and what have you. And from there, it was like my mind was blown. Like I was introduced to a whole new way of living. So I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. Man, girl, you seem like a true hustler. So this business is perfect for you. So now let's go in and let's talk about your first. Now, before we get into talk about your first wholesale deal, there's something I got to point out that you just said, and I was boom, is that nothing happens accidentally. I love that. Everything was all meant to be.
It was.
Yep. It's just a lot of times where it's just your time hasn't come yet, right? It's like when you reach that moment and then things start to fall in place, and then it's like reading a book. Like you read the book and then you read it back again. And it's like there's something in the book because you have become a different person. So now you see things a little bit differently.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your first wholesale deal. So you start back in when?
I started back. So I stumbled across that video end of June, very end of June, stumbled across that video, binged watched, I don't know how many videos, and just everyone that just had information to offer. It's free out there for us. Like, you don't have to hire anybody. It's great to hire somebody once you get to a certain level if you need that extra push and that extra information. But to get started, I mean, it's free information out there. And I started the end of June, and July is when I took action, in July. And I just created a list based off of the information that I was given, PropStream, I have PropStream, and this all happened during trial period. So I really wasn't picking out any hard money yet.
Incredible. So for those, so that started back in June of 2020. So we're about to hit October. So that's literally what, 4 months?
Almost 4 months.
10G. It took me 6 months to do my first deal. So congrats, girl. You are a true hustler. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so July. Okay, so you pull a list through PropStream, right?
I did. I created a absentee owner list through PropStream,
okay.
And I didn't have a lot of money, guys. Let me just make that very known. I didn't have a lot of money to work with, backed up in bills, almost at the very minimum. I'm thinking like maybe 14 cents in my bank account type thing. I had to do my list little by little. I know people say, create this list of thousands of homeowners, but my list honestly was about, I did like 100 at one time, and then I did maybe 50 more at another time, because that was all I could afford at the time. And I didn't know about any other script tracing tools. So I did my script tracing through PropStream, which was kind of more expensive but it's convenient. So I did that, got the spreadsheet, exported it and everything. And I follow different groups on Facebook. So one of the groups that I follow, they threw out a texting tool for SMS blast text, and it's called Smarter Contacts. So I use Smarter Contacts to import my list that I printed off of PropStream, and out of maybe 200 text blasts, I got one yes.
Good for you, and that just turned into a 10G.
$10,000 check. Listen, the lady, the actual property that the lady had, when I called her, when she told me yes, she was interested, she really didn't have any knowledge as to how much her property was worth. She really didn't know how much she wanted. She never really thought about it, type thing. But after speaking with her more about it, she asked for, she actually had another property. She was an out-of-state owner, and she had another property, a duplex actually, that she was interested in getting rid of as well. The numbers didn't quite work out with the duplex, so we just did part of the townhouse that she had available.
I see. Okay, so now okay, hold on. So you sent a 200 text message before you get one yes. Okay, so you just target the list of high equity absentee owner?
Yes.
40% or more, 50% or more?
35% or more.
35% or more. Now, for those of you, if you haven't used PropStreams, that's what we've been using for many, many years. I'll drop the link right below with my affiliate link. So which means we all like it free. So you get 7 days free trial. So don't make no excuse to saying I got no money. You get a 7 days free trial. You can go there, check it out, pull the list, do whatever you can within that 7 days. If you like them, you can continue. If you don't like it, you can just disconnect. There is no string attached, all right? But I'll leave the link right below. That absolutely the #1 data that I feel like the best one for you guys to go pull a motivated seller, cash buyer, skip trace, all that, if that's what you want to do. Now, absolutely. So 35% or more, or more in equity, and you're just targeting absentee owner.
Yes.
So you sent out, so you didn't cold call, but you just sent out text messages.
Oh no, I did some cold calling too. I did cold calling too because the list, everyone didn't have a mobile line listed.
Yep.
So I did a lot of cold calling. I didn't have a call, like a cold calling software to use yet. I'm actually still shopping around for some and, educating myself more about them. So I was making cold calls from my cell phone, which really helped because I got to add more buyers to my buyers list through those lists that I created, the absentee owner list, because there's a lot of landlords on that list. So I got a lot of good buyers on there to help out with my buyers list, and I got a couple leads on that as well. However, the people weren't as motivated. So yep, a lot of cold calling too.
Gotcha. Okay. So listen, for those of you, if you call a person and if they don't sell, but maybe they're an investor, like don't just shut them down. Qualify them. Say, hey, yeah, we work with investors, other investors. We have a lot of property. Sometimes we can't buy them all. So you don't have to go off by saying you're a wholesaler. You just say, hey, my partner and I, we do a lot of fix and flip in the area, and sometimes we can't buy them all. So what we do is we actually hand these deals off over to an investor like you that, another investors that wants to fix and flip. Then you take their information, and you say, hey, the next time, would you be interested to be on our buyers list? That's it.
Yep.
Take their information down and then start building up your list.
Absolutely.
And, I have people ask me, so should I should I find my buyer first or should I find my seller first? Like you can do both.
Simultaneously, right?
Yeah, simultaneously. Like you can really do both. Right. Okay, so now let's talk about your first deal. So the seller respond back to your text message. You got on the phone with her.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the phone call.
Yeah. So she, I've asked her, hey, is it okay if we jump on a phone call later this evening? She agreed, and we spoke. She was very, even though I'm not the expert, she wasn't that knowledgeable about how things work. And so I became the expert in that sense. So she was very intuitive, wanted to know, about how, what she needed to do. She said, I think I want $100,000, for my property. I said, okay, no problem. I said, I understand, I just jotted down her information. And I said, when can we schedule a walkthrough so I can walk through and, I gathered some information of, of the condition, on the condition of the home as well. So after gathering all that information, and also, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that it was tenant occupied. The property was tenant occupied. So we spoke about that. I said, what type of lease is in place? She was saying, oh, I have to look through my documents. She wasn't very organized. I will say that. So you just have to I think you have to really pay attention and make a mental note of everything that's going on. That person's tone, that person's, understanding and knowledge, about how all of this works, because it really can work to your advantage.
Good one. Okay. So so her asking price was 100.
She wanted 100. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she was flexible. She was definitely flexible.
Okay. So basically when you chat with her, she mentioned that. So there's a sense of price reductions or motivation in price.
Right. She was definitely very motivated to sell. She was tired of trying to manage the property from so far away, being in Kansas City and it being in North Carolina. So she was definitely ready to get rid of the property.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What price? I'm sorry. So what price did you got under contract for?
Okay, so we after the walkthrough and everything, we got the property under contract for. I asked. Of course, I asked for she owed a mortgage on the property. It's about $72,000.
Okay.
So I put my asking price at I think like 78 at first. I asked her for, offered her 78. And she said, well, can we do 80? And I, of course, like, 80, give a
Good.
little pushback. And, I said, oh no, I said, you know what? Maybe we can work out 80 because, I went down through the issues that the property had and everything, the condition of the property. And I said, maybe we can we may be able to do 80.
Gotcha. Okay, so you lock it up on a contract for 80. I love that negotiating. So
Yes.
you go, girl. So you got on a contract for 80,000. Now, my question is that, so when you initially on the phone with her on the first one, so you actually went out to the property with a contractor or by yourself to go and see the property before you lock it up on a contract?
I did it backwards. I did not have it totally locked up under contract and when I went out to the property to view it.
Gotcha. No problem. So, okay. So now when you're on the phone with the seller, did you kind of give her that verbal offer or did you just schedule an appointment to go out to see the property?
I just scheduled. She told me that she wanted the 100 and I said, well, we'll talk more about the price. I don't, depending on the condition of the home, I want to go out and look at it first so I can see, what we're actually, dealing with. And so that's how that went.
Gotcha. Okay. And now what's the ARV on the property?
ARV on the property was about 143. There was a property that was fixed up and everything that sold in that area for about 143.
Gotcha. And for those of you who's listening who don't know what ARV is mean after repair value. What does the property worth after it's fixed up and put in perfect condition to resell to get top dollar? Okay. So the ARV is 143. All right. So now when you went out there, did you walk through? Were you with a contractor or were you by yourself or with a partner?
I was by myself.
Now, do you have any experience? Zess, now, do you have any experience as far as in construction?
None, zilch.
So how did you know? So how do you know the estimated repair costs?
So I basically did the square footage rule. I took that into play, and also just like the basics, like the cosmetics. Like I know if it's something that's like more so cosmetic, we can deal anywhere from like 7 to 10 grand. If there's like other repairs involved, minor repairs, of course, still depending on the square footage, you can bump it up to 20. So I took into consideration maybe around like 15,000 worth of repairs.
Gotcha. Okay, so this probably needs about 15,000.
15 to 20. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, so now okay, so you got so at the walkthrough, you lock it up. So the seller signed the contract there, right? After.
So afterwards, I called her that evening. When I got home, I called her that evening and we discussed how the walkthrough went. Actually, she had a not property manager, but a guy that I guess fixed up things like whenever things,
right.
Maintenance guy. So he actually walked the property with me. And so he was giving me like a true idea of what was really, the condition of the place.
Oh.
So when I got back home that evening, we jumped on a call and we spoke about it. And that's when we started the negotiation.
Gotcha. Okay. So you lock it up on a contract for 80 now for how long?
Okay. So that is another thing. She was ready to go. She was ready to close like yesterday. Yeah. However, because she had a tenant in place, she wanted to give him time to move. He wasn't on a yearly lease or anything like that. It was more month to month. Okay. So, and then with me, I'm really a compassionate person and dealing with the times that we're in right now.
Right.
I said, you want to give him, she was ready to give him like 30 days. He can be out by next week. And I was like, well, do you want to give him like, we can give him 60 days if you want. If you're okay with that, we can give him up to 60 days to, give him ample enough time to find somewhere. Cause he had been living there for about like eight or 9 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you lock it up in a contract for 60 days.
It was a 60-day. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 60 days on the contract. And I know in the last video, someone asked me, how long was your inspection period?
My inspection period was, I didn't have an inspection period after, like beyond, because I already did like the initial, I told her if we did need to go back into the property to show, to assess any other issues and everything, that I would give her, a heads up, like 24 hours notice. But I think I did like on the contract, 7 days.
Okay. Well, let me answer this question for those of you who say, well, so if you tie the property under contract for 60 days, what is your inspection period? Well, in my contract, it gives me all the way until the day of closing to back out the deal. So when I talk to the seller, I don't bring it up. I don't mention, hey, we need a 7 days inspection. We need a 15 days inspection. Like, I don't bring it up, right? Unless the seller brings it up, I don't bring it up. So it gives me all the way. So it gives me the whole 60 days to do my inspections, to find my buyers. And if I can't, then I can back out. But obviously, but you don't want to do that to the seller. You don't want to drag your feet all the way into that 60 days, right? We typically likes to find an answer very, very quickly. Within 3 weeks or so, we like to have an answer if there's a buyer, or do we have to go back and renegotiate, ask for more time on the contract, or get a reduction on the price, or whatever it is. But I don't drag the seller all the way to 60 days to let them know that, hey, we can't move forward to it. So typically within the 3 weeks or 2-3 weeks, I should be able to know very quickly if this is a deal that we can make it work or not, and I will let them know, okay? But for those of you who's listening, in my contract, it gives us all the way until the day of closing to back out in case whatever the issue is. Let's just say we find a buyers, and then all of a sudden the day of closing, buyer backs out. So now we can also back out, but obviously now you have to make sure that that's why the buyer non-refundable is very important. So you can take that money and you can give the seller some money, right? Just let them know, hey, and buy more time so you can find another buyer for the property. Okay. So that's let's talk about how you found your buyer. So you got this buyer on the contract for 60 days. What was the earnest money with you and the seller?
$10.
$10 to 10, turn $10 into $10,000, girl.
Yes.
So 10,000. Okay, so $10 for the earnest. Okay. Now, how do you find your buyers? Let's talk about that.
So I found my buyers through the Facebook groups that I follow, the RIA Facebook groups that I'm a part of. I would just go basically to other listings where folks have listed properties that they have an assignment for. And I would look at the list of, responses underneath, and they of course they list their emails, and I would just add those people to my list on top of the people that were calling me through my bandit signs. There were people calling me that was interested in joining my buyers list. I also had an ad on Craigslist where folks would respond to me and call me and ask to be added to the list as well. And through the cold calling, I got the buyer, a lot of buyers on my list that way.
Gotcha. But that's your buyer came from the Facebook group local.
My buyer for that property came from Facebook, from the Facebook group.
Okay. So for those of you who's watching, whatever market that you're in, there should be a local RIA Facebook group that is dedicated to that area, and all investors, builders, contractors, developer, like money lender, private hard, like other wholesaler, you can find it in that group. And that's a good place to start to network, to start putting out your name, to get things rocking and rolling. And also it's a great way to find your buyers as well on there. Okay. Because the last interview I had, same thing. That's where he found his buyer as well. So the local RIA, just REIA. Yeah. And then what you did was you joined the local RIA. Then you go to the search. Instead of putting a post, you just search for smart. Very, very, very smart. So
I can't take the credit. I learned it from someone on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube.
Okay, so can you explain that so the people that's listening know exactly what you did?
Yes. So basically, I'm joined the group. I requested to join the group. You have to answer a couple questions to join. They usually answer back either later that day or the following day, and you're a part of the group. So what you can do, like Khang said, is search for those keywords like assignment fee or, listing, or just different keywords to try to zero in on properties. There were so many listings, so I didn't have to do a word search. I just went to the most recent, down the timeline, went to the most recent property that someone was advertising. And, of course, they say, shoot me your email if you're interested in properties in this area. And it was, the area that I had the property in. And basically, I transferred over all of those emails and names to my spreadsheet. I also sent out an email to all of those individuals to kind of get an idea of what they were looking for as far as property.
Ah, gotcha. So smart. So smart. So now, okay, so you found the buyers. Okay, so now let's explain the next step.
So the next step was that I actually advertised. I put together, of course, the pictures, and I put just one picture as far as like the initial email, but then I also had a link to the what is it, Google. It's like a Google file, to where they can look at the other photos.
Yep.
So I had that link, so if they wanted to look at additional photos, they could. And my contact information, and I just sent out a blast, email. And I instantly, I put this thing under contract on July, was it July 10th, I believe. And it was only because, it took that long because of the tenant and things of that nature. But I put it under contract July 10th. The next day, and this was like on a Saturday, I think, or Friday or Saturday. The next day, I had buyers calling my phone.
Wow.
Emails, calling my phone. And I chose to go. There was one that I kind of didn't get good vibes from. I think he was another wholesaler too. It was just like he was very pushy. I was, telling him how we were going to work this out, how if he wanted to go view the property, I could set that up. However, it's tenant occupied, so we want to be respectful of the current tenant in place. And he was just like, oh, you want to get other buyers. And, he was just like very like, yeah.
Girl, I know. Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. I think a lot of time too, I think some people don't have very good business skills or communication skills.
Or people skills. No.
Yeah, no, really. We came across some wholesaler and they don't know when to be pushy and when not to be pushy. And we end up didn't want to work with them because we knew if it's going to start off drama, this whole thing will be drama.
Yep.
I don't need drama in my life. So,
no.
So when they were being really pushy on the deal, and like, we're like, no, we're not going to work with this. Right.
Yep. And my next buyer called me. He called me directly and he was like, listen, I don't care who else is interested in this property. I'm ready to go like tomorrow. Like, let's do it. I have the funds. I can show you. Like, he was just ready.
Gotcha. So, you got it under contract for 80. So you sent it out for 90, right?
I sent it out for 93 at first. Yes. So,
okay.
We negotiated it down to 90, he and I.
Gotcha. Now, did your buyer, did he do the walkthrough on the property or he bought a sight unseen?
Sight unseen.
I love those buyers.
I love it, Kai.
Those buyers, I'm okay with taking 3,000, 5,000 off if they're ready to go, don't need to see the property and just close on it because obviously they're taking on a lot of risks and they're willing to move forward to not see the property. I'm okay with taking a $3,000 haircut and just get this done. I love those buyers.
His only condition was that the tenant had to be completely moved out for him to close on the property. But he's like, when that tenant moves out, you let me know, I'm ready to go. And we signed an assignment contract. I sent him over an assignment contract. I didn't let him know what my assignment fee was. I just let him know what the cost was that includes my assignment fee. And he put down the 2,500 EMD and we were ready to go.
Done. So he put down 2,500 non-refundable. And how soon did you close on it?
We closed. I got my check September 10th. It closed, I believe, September 9th.
Gotcha. So July, because basically he wants the renter to vacate. So he wants the property to be vacant before he took over, because a lot of time, you guys don't know, with the whole COVID, some buyer really worry about buying a property with either the seller still living there or the renter, because you can, with the whole COVID, there's a law where you can't get them out, you can't evict them, blah, blah, blah. And they don't want to tie their property up, tie all their cash in there and not know when the renter is going to be ever to vacate the property. So now
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
We ran into a couple of snags as far as the title was concerned. The previous owner, not the current seller that I was dealing with, but the owner that owned it before her, she had a deed of trust that had a lien on it that she didn't send in the paperwork to show that she satisfied it. So I had to go on a hunt to find out where, how to go about getting that satisfaction, the satisfaction paperwork submitted. And so, because my seller's previous lawyer was deceased. She didn't know what to do. I was using the buyer's closing attorney. So they weren't very much help. They gave me the document to show that there was a lien, but it was never documented that it was satisfied. That was as far as they went. And so I contacted the creditor on that document that they sent over to me. And I basically just got the ball rolling for them to send that it had been satisfied over to the register deed.
Good for you. Good for you. True hustle.
Yes.
Now, Zess, a quick question for you. When your buyer said, hey, I won't close on it until a renter has vacate, have you ever pitched to your buyer and say that, hey, what if we do a, what if we, well, since this property is rented, have you ever pitched to the buyer, hey, because we lowered the 3,000, the seller would like to close this a lot sooner so they can get their cash to do other stuff? So
I didn't. He seemed very very, like, as a matter of fact, where that was concerned, because he was saying that he wanted to get his contractors right in there to do what needed to be done. Yeah. Gotcha. So I didn't give him any pushback. I was patient.
Yeah, no, I understand. So those of you who's watching, here's how you want to position yourself when it comes to negotiating with buyers like this. And if it worked, great. If it doesn't work, it doesn't hurt to try. So here's how you want to position yourself, because my whole thing is, once I lock a property on the contract, once I found a buyer, I want to close on it as soon as possible. For those of you who've been in the game for a long time, you know that nothing is done until you get that check, that money in your hands. Okay, anything can go wrong, even all the way to the day of closing. So when I get a buyer like this, which we have, I will pitch to the buyers and I let the buyer know, listen, so let's just say it's Zess. I say, Zess, listen, the reason why the seller is selling this property at such a low price, they really need them, they really need that cash to be able to go on and do other things. They got bills they got to take care of, that 60 days of closing, that's too long for them. Is there any way that you, with me reducing the 3,000 or whatever it is, or or moving forward with moving forward with you, is there any way that you would be able to close on this, take over the property with the renter? Because we do have other offer in on the table that are considered moving forward, because that's what the seller needs, because they need that. So that's how you want to position yourself to negotiate with your buyers, not putting the negotiating on you, but you're putting the negotiating on the seller by saying that's what the seller wants, and that's why they're willing to sell the property for so low, because they need the cash quick. I have other offer on the table as well, but I really enjoy working with you. I would like to put this deal forward with you, but for you not closing, until the property is vacant, that's going to give us a little trouble to do this deal together, because I have to talk to my partner. Now you're going to leverage the seller and you're going to leverage saying, hey, I have to partner as well. He or she also looking at other offer. I really want to get your push through, right? Because I really enjoy working with you. You're willing to move forward, get this thing closed. So is that something that you can do? The worst thing your buyers say is no, that's not going to work, right? Then obviously now it's up to you to make a decision if you want to move forward with this buyer or if you're not. Typically, I would like to get, if that doesn't work, then you can get them to drop off even a larger non-refundable. To me, this buyer is so ready to go. He's so solid that dropping off a 5,000 or a 10,000 is probably not even a big deal to him or her. Then you just ask them, increase that. Now, if that doesn't work, right, you can call them back later and say, hey, now I talked to my partner, would you be able to increase your non-refundable to 5,000 or 10,000? The reason why you guys want to do that is because if the buyer ever backs out, they have a lot more skin in the game. So when they think about backing out, it's hard for them to back out because they're going to lose 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 instead of 2,500 or 1,000. All right. So just an FYI, when you talk negotiates, it's leverage it and then put yourself in a position where you're not negotiating directly with them, but on behalf of the sellers and your partner. FYI.
Good advice, Khang.
But girl, you did it. Okay, so Zess, for those that are starting out, for those that are starting out and that are obviously trying to get their first deal, what are some things you want to tell them?
I want to let you guys know just the real about it. It is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Keeping it real, girl.
The first thing that I had to come to grips with, which I was already working on before I got into wholesaling, was conditioning my mind, creating that positive mindset. If you don't get your mind together, you won't survive this business. You have to on the daily, I do daily affirmations. I go to sleep listening to affirmations. You have to constantly gratitudes every day. Like you have to create that atmosphere for yourself mentally so that you can attract those things. And I think that is the number one thing. Condition your mind, because there's going to be a lot of no's. A lot of people are going to say no. You're going to get cussed out. You're going to come across so many different people, and you have to know not to take those things personally and allow those things to just roll off. If your mind is right, they'll just roll off and you'll go on to the next one. But if not, you'll fold easy.
Girl,
faint-hearted.
Girl, you're dropping bombs. I'm not gonna even say anything after that. So, Zess, how do people connect with you?
Sure. So I have a YouTube channel where I'm documenting my journey to the top as a wholesaling, female. I'm trying to do that girl power thing. So you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Sincerely Yaz. That's Sincerely SINCERELY YAZ as in zebra.
So just YouTube. How about Instagram? How about
Instagram,
any other social?
You can follow me on Instagram at miss._real estate. That's miss._real estate. And also my YouTube page, it's just my name. You can just look up Shanice Yaz in parentheses Shelly.
Gotcha. So you guys, I'll make sure that I put all the linked right there in the description, so you can go give our girl some support, because man, she's such a hustler. So congrats. I'm so excited, so happy for you. And you made it, your first one, 10G.
So excited. I really thank you for the opportunity, Khang. I thank you for what you're doing, the platform that you have set and opened up for regular people like me to just come on and share our stories, to encourage others. And the encouragement, that's why I'm so blessed, because you encourage so many people. And I see you on a daily. You're a giver. You're a huge giver. You got a big heart. And that's why you'll always be blessed.
Girl, thank you so much for the kind word, for the love and the support. I remember this October, it'll be 10 years that I was sitting right in the same shoes as some of you, watching other people on YouTube and saying, they can do it, but I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't really know if this is for me. I don't know if I can do it. And I remember struggling for 6 months. You know, I spent a lot of money investing, watched tons of video, took massive actions, stress, overwhelm, because you got to understand, you know, you're trying to start something for yourself, but then you got it, but the bills doesn't stop. You know, your regular life is still there, especially for those of you who have a job. You wake up, you go to your job, bills coming home, and, you know, 6 months, but I just knew that when I started that I had to commit. And a lot of you said, well, Khang, did you know that you were going to succeed? The honest answer is, I don't know. But I knew that if I give up, then I would give up on the life that I want to live. Then I'll be stuck at the job for the rest of my life, working for someone. And I didn't want that. So I just keep on pushing and pushing. And then 6 months later, I did my first deal. So for those of you who's going through the struggles, Zest understand, I understand. Totally. You just got to keep pushing. And I think Zest said it perfectly. It's simple, but it's not easy. So you just got to go. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you taking your time to watch this video. I honestly hope that this add a lot of value to your life and to your business. If it does, please show my guest some love. Boom, smash the thumbs up. New to the channel, boom, smash the subscribe button. Make sure to go follow and subscribe to my girl. She's the bomb. Thank you so much, you guys. Until next time, Zest, take care. Ciao. Thank you.